Hello everyone and welcome back to another new album video. We're now on week 52, so this is the final album in this series. We'll be doing one more episode next week where we'll kind of recap everything that was a part of the series, like break down the genres and all that. But anyway, this week we're taking a look at Escort by Escort. First released November 14th, 2011. Not sure if that's the actual release date in the U.S. It was the only release date I could find on Discogs because I think I looked it up and it just said 2011, and I think this was like the UK release, but it was the only actual version of this album that actually had a solid release date to it. Everywhere else I looked just said it came out sometime in 2011. Anyhow, some notable tracks on this album include Cocaine Blues, Starlight, All Through the Night, and Love and Indigo. And what this album is, I kind of found it somewhat randomly. So when I'm kind of stuck on what I want to listen to, I have like a weird way of using dice to kind of determine like what decade I want to listen to, and then other dice I roll to see like what year within those decades. So like this year's I think spanned, or this year I've been listening to music from the 1950s onward. So we have the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. 2010s and 2020. So there's 8, so I roll a d8, and based on the roll, we end up choosing one of those 8 different decades. So I ended up getting the 2010s, rolled another die, I think it was like a 10-sided die to pick a year, ended up being 1, so 2011. And this album showed up on a lot of top albums of that year's, top albums of 2011 lists. And read some reviews about it, and basically was saying it's essentially modern day disco music. And that kind of had me interested. So I listened to the album on one of my commutes to work. Really solid, just disco beats and disco vibes. I'm definitely going to check out more of their stuff. But this is their first, this is like their debut studio album. And you can definitely see how it has a lot of inspiration and kind of like vibes out of like disco music from the mid to late 70s, maybe early 80s, but just a really cool way to take kind of that that style and have it be kind of familiar at the same time as being new. So it feels like it is familiar because it is inspired by that era, but they're also putting their new twist on it, or their own twist on it. I have some notes here about the album, and then we'll get to like the track list and all that kind of stuff as well. Just find where the page is. Marked it right there. Like we said, released November 14th, 2011. Escort was founded in Brooklyn, New York in 2006. And the original members were Dan Ballas, Darius Mayhead, Eugene Cho, and Adeline Michelle. It's got like not an umlaut, the thing over the E, so I'm probably mispronouncing that. But I think a few of those members of the band are no longer with the group. I think Adeline Michelle specifically, because she's kind of doing like the vocals on the album. But Dan Ballas and Eugene Cho went to Vassar College, where they kind of started making like house music, like singles and like remixes and things like that. And that's kind of where they ended up getting inspired to kind of just do their own music. Let me actually just bring this up because I had it open but now I closed it. So there's a quote that the quote was that the duo of Dan Ballas and Eugene Cho wanted to quote wanted to make records in the spirit of the old ones we were sampling. So they were sampling, making house music, sampling obviously disco records, and using wanting then to create their own music in that genre because they were sampling all those beats and things like that. So they wanted to kind of make do their own twist, or their own spin on it, not twist but spin, put their own spin on it. And couple videos here. So All Through the Night, there's a music video for that Pitchfork put in their top 50 videos of the 2000s. And Rolling Stone then, I think in 2012, when they were kind of doing like their album countdown kind of thing, they ranked this album at number 40 out of 50 on their list of albums that they did in 2012. So probably taking into account stuff that came out kind of late, maybe late in the year after they probably already did their list for 2011. So this made the 2012 list, ranked in at number 40 out of 40 out of 50. We're now going to jump over and take a look at the track list for this. So pop this back up. So we have 11 tracks on this album, coming in at about 52 minutes and 41 seconds. So track one, I'm probably going to mispronounce this because it's Chameleon. Chameleon is how I'm just going to pronounce it. But it's probably not pronounced that. So that's the first track. That's really good. Track two is Cocaine Blues, one of the best songs on the album. I think that and All Through a Night are probably my two favorite tracks on the album here. Track three is Makeover. Track four is A Sailboat in the Moonlight. Track five is Why Oh Why. Track six is Starlight, another very solid track on the album. Track seven is A Bright New Life. Track eight is All Through the Night, again, one of my favorites. Track nine is Love and Indigo. Track 10 is All That She Is. And then rounding it out at track 11 is Caraway. So again, 11 tracks, 52 minutes, 41 seconds in length. Essentially, it's modern day disco. The genre that is listed on here just says new disco. So it definitely is. It's a disco album, basically. But it was really good. I was really kind of very, very surprised that a disco album from kind of somewhat recently has actually sounds really good. I do like disco music occasionally, but I don't particularly love it. But this album was actually really good, and I highly recommend checking it out if you're into that kind of music. But then I'm definitely going to check out some other stuff because I think they've released. Let me see how many albums they've put out so far. They put out 3. So Escort, their debut one, came out in 2011, followed by Animal Nature in 2015, and most recently, City Life, their third album, came out in 2019. Looks like there was a remix album that came out a couple years after this one, so Escort Remixed, which is, I think, just the first album completely remixed. But I'm definitely going to check out some more of their stuff. I really enjoyed this one, and hopefully their other stuff is more of the same. Is probably still going to be quite enjoyable. But that's going to do it for this video. So again, this wraps up our series. We'll be doing one more video, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video. We'll be kind of just mapping everything we listen to as part of the series, breaking down all the genres and all that kind of stuff. And then next year, don't know what we're going to do next year for a series. There'll be something. Just not haven't decided on a direction for that yet. And then we'll probably be doing a mini series next year about just all the music I listened to in 2024. Probably just because I've listened to like 1,100 albums. I think I've lost count, but I have a list. But we'll probably just go through that list and kind of break down those as well. That'll be a separate series. But again, that's going to do it for this episode. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time when we do that breakdown video. And then in 2025, we'll have a whole new series of 52 albums of some kind. Not really sure what the theme is going to be. But that's going to do for now. So thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.